Hello and welcome back to our Prizm video training series. Here we are bringing you bite-sized training videos to help you learn how to best use the tool Prizm. This video will be all about working tickets. This is one of the most important videos that we'll have for our agents, and we're going to be looking at understanding how we'll be receiving tickets, how to work tickets in the system, and how to resolve them and how to correspond with our customers throughout that process. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Well, what's a day in the life of this ticket? How does it start? How do we know when we have a ticket waiting for us? How do we know we have some work to do? Well, just like Track It today, for those of you who are using Track It, it starts out typically with an email notification. We're looking here at the agent's home page. Let's go ahead and look at an email notification that's come in before. I've pulled this up in my Outlook inbox. This was submitted to our ticketing system by my friend Gary Starks down in Tyler. And this is the template that we would see. We'd get a notification from Prizm. In this case, it's a test from our test system, so it said from Prizm test. It would say from Prizm. It would give us this template saying, hey, the following request has been submitted in the IT service management system. It's going to give us a ticket number, a subject of the ticket, and what status it's in, and who's assigned to it. And it's going to give us the notes that the end user and our customer has put into the ticket. We've got a few ways of accessing it. We could either just click right here in our web browser, or excuse me, in our email, and it'll open the link in our web browser. You could go to Start and then All Programs and Prizm and open it there, or you could go to your favorites and launch Prizm there. And we'll go back to our Prizm page. Here is what we'd be looking at here in the ticketing system. By default, the list would show my assignments. They're on the bottom. What I did there is I kind of changed the sort, and I looked at it to see what's going on with my team. I want to see the service desk assignments. And if you tuned into our last video, we just created this ticket in our customer scenario. We created this test ticket here saying I'm having problems logging into the VPN. And that's the ticket that we'll be working. I just want to give you a little bit of the lay of the land before we do. In our agent homepage, we can see that here's a search field up at the top. We can pull up tickets. You can simply type 417, hit enter, and pull up a ticket that way. And we've got these customizable widgets, these components on our dashboard. They can be moved around, and they can be taken off of here. And this is where you would find our awesome training videos that we're recording right now. Let's go ahead and get into ticket 417 and just walk through it like we're working it for an end user that would have submitted the ticket. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the ticket by clicking on the number of that ticket. And from the top, you'll notice that we have access to viewing some fields that our customers, our end users, definitely don't. There's a tip here on the top for creating new tickets. And we're going to scroll down to the pertinent information here. There's some test updates in here, but our initial issue said that I'm having problems logging into a test. This is a test. The very first thing we would do here is we're going to move our status. And we're using this for testing, so our customer had responded in email already. By default, it would be in a submitted status. It would say it's in the status of a request, or maybe acknowledged if somebody has touched the ticket already. Let's go ahead and put the ticket as in progress because we're working on the ticket, and let's pretend we're reaching out to the end user here. So we've put it as in progress ticket, and now we're scrolling down here. Let's say, for example, I called the end user and I'm trying to find out what's going on with their VPN issue. I'm not able to reach them. I want to email them. I want to send them a little email and say, I need some more information from you. I would do that right from here. This is an important step to note. This is kind of a game changer for all of us who are used to emailing from Outlook through Track It, by using Track It. In Prizm, we actually contact the user directly through the ticket here. So it's a dear test, maybe not dear, let's say test customer. I am working on this issue. I wanted to know if you are are receiving any error messages. Could you possibly send me a screenshot? If so, fix our funny grammar here. Capitalize. Thanks. Now I've taken the time to kind of type through this as a little bit of a demo. This is the message that we are giving our customers, so we don't want to necessarily put just technical jargon or you know, kind of quick notes in the ticket. We do want to phrase this as a letter to our end user, because this is where we are actually asking them for information. Let's scroll down just a little bit more. Again, this is just previous notes that we'd put in here as a test. If we had some internal notes that we had, we could say maybe there was some, you know, hot fix knowledge-based article that we needed to put in here, some technical information we didn't necessarily want the user to see, or maybe this is an HR ticket and they're putting some, you know, HR sensitive information in the ticket, and we don't want our end users to be able to have access to it, or so forth. You know, we could put information in here, sensitive info, and that would never be seen by our end users. This is only for technicians' eyes that would be in the ticket. Scrolling down just to get the view of the rest of the ticket here. This was all submitted by the end user through the service catalog. All these fields are filled out. One thing we have access to seeing here now is we have our assignees area. So this is saying right now this ticket is assigned to the service desk, and I want this to be out of my team's queue. I want to take ownership of this issue. I want to work on this issue myself. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that whole team from the queue, and I'm going to find myself in this field on the left. Up at the top we do have alphabetically listed a list of all of our teams, and if you're going to be assigning to yourself, you do actually want to scroll all the way to the very bottom. The last team listed is just individual users, and we would select ourselves out of that individual users list. If you scroll through this, this is actually listed by first name alphabetically, but it's displaying the sorted by last name alphabetically, but it's showing the first name first. So as you can see, we were in the A's, now we're in the B's, C's coming up, and so forth. So don't get confused by the first name column. We're actually sorting by last name here. Here was my test account up here. I'm going to go ahead and select myself, click the right arrow, and there I am assigned to the ticket. I want to show you the difference of the other way that you could pick yourself from this this little area here. You could say, well, but hey, I'm a member of the service desk. I could find myself without having to scroll through all those names by just going to my team and finding myself there. If we do that, the system didn't like me doing that here. If we do that, it actually assigns it to the entire service desk and me as an end user. Prizm, one kind of feature it has is the ability to assign issues to multiple people in what it refers to as collaborations. So this could be assigned to the service desk, as well as maybe the network and security team, and maybe the maybe the Windows team. So we can have multiple teams. Also, it could be assigned to your entire team and you individually. In most cases, we don't want to do that. Best case, scenario, best practice rather, is that you really want to actually just remove your team and assign it to yourself individually and put it into your queue, so that your team members are not looking for work and maybe trying to access a ticket that you're already working, or maybe do some double work. If we look here on the right, it's going to tell us who the ticket will be who the system will send the email to when we save this ticket. Right now, when we save it, it's going to be sending us an email to the contact of the ticket. That's just the person who put it in. If we wanted the assignees of the ticket to be notified, we could click the box. We could add any CCs, anybody that we wanted to also receive the email, and we would hit save. So in this case, let's go ahead and hit save. I will also note before I hit save that this is driven by the status. So for example, certain statuses will contact both the assignee and the contact. Some of them will just do the assignee and so forth. So the status you pick up here is what will drive who is being notified down here. Let's go ahead and hit save. Alright, great. It just gave us some little information there. It clocked how much time was added to this ticket, how long we were working it, and it gave us a confirmation screen here, just giving us the details of the ticket. I'll go ahead and close that out. So let's go with kind of some scenarios here. One scenario that could have happened is, now notice here, look at this status of customer responded. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen here so you can see the difference. This is no longer a service desk assignment, so we're going to change our view to My Assignments. The status is now showing in progress. The reason it showed customer responded was because the customer had emailed back their response to a ticket previously. So that, again, does dynamically change the status of the issue. Let's say we've been trying to contact this customer for a day now, and they're just not getting back with us. We can't, we've IM'd and emailed and called, and we're not hearing any information back. Let's say that we're going to actually put this ticket in a different status. We're going to say we're waiting for our customer. We're going to say pending customer. And if you notice, over here on the right, a new box popped out for us. It's asking us what the reason is. So a good example of how fields can kind of dynamically change in the system based off of what you're selecting. So when it's pending customer, I'm going to say, need information about errors received, just as a test here. And I'll go ahead and just say Artie, I need the info to process your ticket. Please reply to this, with that info. Let me close my Outlook here so I stop getting notifications. And I would go ahead and save the ticket this way. Again, this is going to send an email to the contact of the ticket with this information. It'll actually be kind of a special status now. So the end user, the customer, will receive a notification saying, hey, this is pending customer, in big red letters, and say, we need a response from you. Today, what happens with these tickets is we tend to want to follow up on these a few times and eventually send an email to the end user saying, hey, we're just not hearing back from you. We're going to have to close this ticket out. Awesome new enhancement here is that Prizm will be handling that communication for us. So the ticketing system sends that email for us. It waits for 5 business days, and if the customer has not responded back to the ticket, it will actually automatically send them a notification saying, hey, we haven't heard back from you on this. We're going to go ahead and close the ticket now, and it will close the ticket for you. You don't have to micromanage that correspondence with the customer anymore. So big enhancement there. We really enjoy that. Let's go ahead and go back into the ticket and just, let's say we did get some information back. Let's say we were able to fix the issue. Let's just walk through and go ahead and resolve the ticket here. So again, just changing the status, we'll go ahead and resolve our ticket. We'll say, I was able to apply fix XYZ, and Artie is now connected to the VPN. Simply save my ticket, and there we have it. Simple. My customer would receive a notification email saying my ticket has been resolved, and neat thing there as well, it does go in this resolve status. Let me go ahead and close here. I'll refresh. It does go in this resolve status. If you notice, this did not disappear from my work list. It's still showing. So it will stay in that resolve status for 3 business days. This gives us a nice settle down period on the ticket. I know you may have experienced this before. Many times, we resolve an issue out, and the customer may say, hey, wait, the problem came back. Whatever you did didn't quite fix it, or it gives the customers a chance to actually reply back. If the customer was to reply back in those 3 business days, it would actually switch this status here back to customer responded, email us again, and say, hey, this ticket is now customer responded. It needs some attention from you, and it will allow the ticket to kind of be worked from there. Um, from those After those 3 days, it goes from the status of resolved to the status of closed. I'm not sure if you noticed in that drop-down list, but we don't have the availability to click that closed status. We never will close the tickets ourselves. The system will move them from resolved to closed after that settle down period. After that ticket is closed, if the customer does respond, they will not reopen that ticket. They do have to actually open a new one from there. So another good example of how the system is managing that email correspondence, that relationship with the customer, without having to have us micromanage these kinds of things. Okay, so we've looked at working the ticket, we've looked at resolving the ticket, and we've looked at some of the email correspondence to and from the customer, and that'll wrap up our training video today for working the tickets in Prizm. Look forward to the next training video. We'll be looking at how to kind of customize our dashboard and changing the lay of the land. Thanks so much for attending.